The crypto markets are crashing. Bitcoin is back below $100,000. And some of your favorite cryptos like XRP, Cardano, Sui, ETH, they're all wiped out all of the gains from yesterday. And this is a really trying time that's causing a lot of people to second guess their investments and begin to ask the question, is this the end of the bull market? Is there a major problem? Well, in today's video, I'm going to explain to you just what's going on with this crypto crash, why it is here, and what it means for your long-term investments, and explain to you why I am buying this dip. It does not scare me. We've seen things just like this before. It's about responding the correct way that'll make you a lot of money. So if you are excited about those tips and tricks, make sure to go ahead and smash that like button and hit subscribe. But first, we got to roll the intro. Here we go. Welcome, everybody, to the Investing Bros. You'll notice it's just me and Smay today. T-Shroom is okay. Anyone who's going to wonder what's wrong with T-Shroom, they're having car issues, him and his wife, so he's got to deal with that today. He's being a very good husband, but he is going to be right back tomorrow. Nothing is wrong with him, so praise God there. But I am joined by the amazing, hilarious, ever so friendly Mr. Smaynold down there in Florida, taking the place of good old T-Shroom. Smay, how are you doing today?
Well, I'm just doing better than I deserved, Tim, and
Yeah.
something about golf and UK sports, something that T-shirt would say. I don't know.
Yeah. How are you feeling about the Pittsburgh Steelers playoff run that's about to happen? You think Super Bowl or out first round?
Here's the thing. I think if they are willing to make the decisions that need to be made, then there's a good fighting chance. But unfortunately, I don't think they have what it takes to get past this first round, unfortunately. But we'll find out on Saturday. I mean, obviously, I have all the hope in the world that they can put it together, but I don't think they're willing to do what it takes. So.
I hear you. Last thing I want to say here before we get into crypto talk, we're going to be looking at a lot of charts here today, guys. Ultimately, the main point of what we're going to go through is a lot of coins. What's happening? Why are they down? Where would I be looking to purchase more of it? I'm going to give you a lot of price targets today for potential bottoms and good buy signals, but it's a rough day. You know, people's portfolios are down. People are honestly asking, should I stay involved in cryptocurrency? It's a down day. It's a red day. What would your advice be for someone who's having a rough day? What do you do when everything seems against you? Nothing's going correctly. How do you stay positive and correct and set yourself up for a good day next day?
Well, Tim, I think the best thing to do first and foremost is breathe. And then go for a walk, and then, some serious good tips, pet your dog. If you have a dog, pet your cat if you have a cat, or if you have both, pet both. And, sit down, pull out a journal or something, and write down all the things that are good that you're grateful for, because that will put you in the right mood, because some things might not go your way, but at least a few of them are. And if you have nothing that you're grateful for, then I'm sorry, then maybe things are actually really bad for you. But maybe you also just need to think a little harder, okay? So never give up. There you go.
I like it, May. Trizzle says, Tim looks like the Bears fans, LLJK. It's worse. I'm actually a Virginia Tech fan, which is like the college equivalent of the Bears in the NFL. We used to be good a while ago, and we held on to those glory days, but we have not been good in quite some time, and I'm not seeing a lot of bright future in the next couple of years. But you know what? There's always a chance. Always a chance. Joe Logan also with the super chat here. We're going to get into crypto talk in just a little bit, but thank you to Joe for that super chat. Said, getting killed on trading fees, best U.S. exchange fees. I don't know if I know the best fees definitely, but I do think platforms with liquidity, platforms with reliability and use case are very essential. That's one of the reasons why we partnered with an exchange like Blofin, right? I heavily, especially if you're in the United States, I suggest trading Blofin. You don't need a KYC. You don't need a VPN. You can trade heavy leverage. You can trade light leverage. You can do spot trading. You do a bunch of things. But if you sign up with our link down below, you also can register to be a part of a trading competition right now where you could win up to $200,000. So, Joe, go sign up with Blofin down below. Even the rest of you, if you're looking for a place to trade these dips, make sure to go trade on Blofin. Let's take a look at the markets. Let's see what's happening here, Smay. It's not looking good. It's a sea of red. A couple outliers. Hex is up 6.8%. So that's a coin I do not like. I do not like Hex. I've never owned X. I never will own Hex. And of course, it's benefiting off of all of our misery. A lot of things down. It's consistent, though. See how there's no massive bubble coming across space? It looks like an overall average. Like it's almost like people didn't choose a coin specifically to sell. They just took a certain percentage of their portfolio and said, we're going to sell everything here. A lot of things down somewhere between 10 to 15%. That's the kind of the average we see going on here. But you know what? This is a beautiful thing. Yesterday was very green. Yesterday was a major rally. The thing is about looking at the charts, understanding that the days to buy crypto are not the days that everything's pumping. It's not the days where you look on this bubble screen and you see a bunch of green. When I see a sea of red, that is an amazing opportunity to buy some dips and make some profits. With that said, let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of coins. We also have some stories here today that normally T-Shroom handles. But again, with him working on some car things with his wife and making sure that they have safe transportation, he's not going to be here. So you're going to deal with me today. That's going to be a lot of fun. Let's start off with Bitcoin. Of course, like we said yesterday. Let's go to the daily chart here so you can see the daily candles. Yesterday, we had an amazing rally after breaking and started there around 98,000. We got back above 100,000. It was a great level of resistance. That breaking was a big deal. But remember what I told you guys yesterday? I told you closing the daily candle above 100,000 was amazing, but the next thing I wanted to see to feel very, very good about a larger bullish move was to see the following day open and close above 100,000. And that dream got smashed this morning, right? It is down. We not only are back down below 100,000, we're back below where we started yesterday, right? Wiped all of those gains out. Now, here's the thing. Some people are going to say, Tim, you were so bullish yesterday. I wish I'd done this. You can ask anyone in here that is part of our VIP trading group. Yesterday, during our Q&A, I told everyone, hey, a pullback to 100,000 looks very likely. In fact, when you go to really small time frames, even though yesterday I showed you a lot of buy signals, like on the daily and the 2 daily, which I can show you here again in a minute. They're still there, by the way. I was looking at things on the 30-minute chart, the 1 hour chart, and I said to myself, this doesn't look good. Again, we're talking about way back in here. 30, this was yesterday before the live show. I said, hey guys, don't be surprised to see a pullback down to $100,000. I thought it would be strong support. Turns out I was not bearish enough in the short term. But I said to myself for the show, I was like, you know what? We'll just do macro TA today. We're not going to do any micro. I wish I talked to you guys about that on the show yesterday. But you know what? If you're part of our VIP trading group, you get some of those closer insights so you can trade some of these movements. Becoming part of our group is definitely a big winning strategy. But today I want to focus. We're going to spend a lot of time today giving perspective here on what's going on, where you should be looking to buy, where you should potentially be looking at maybe freak out levels, not the bear market over levels, but something's wrong with the markets, right? Because at the moment, I always love to do this on bearish days when people are freaking out, when there's negative sentiment in the space. Sometimes we all just need to take a deep breath. I was doing some TA with our members earlier, just circling some situations over here. Let me get rid of all those. Take a deep breath and zoom out, okay? We are down today roughly 6%, right? From the opening of the day, it's 5.5%, but let's just round it up to 6%. 6%, it seems like a lot when I zoom in and look at a 15-minute candle, right? I just zoomed out, but I want to zoom again. When I look at this chart here on the 15-minute chart, this feels really painful. But if I go to the weekly chart and I zoom out here, this is still extremely bullish. This is simply a healthy correction within a bull market. I mean, take a look at previous bull markets. Again, this is something I was talking about with our community earlier. Take a look at how many pullbacks happened during a bull market. If you go back even further, let's go to a different screen. Go back to 2017. Look at how many times. Do these pullbacks right here seem significant? I'll circle those for a second. Do these look like big deals right in here? To me, no. On this perspective, they don't feel good. These are dips of over 30%. pushing towards 40%. But when you zoom out, you get a healthier perspective. It's easier to say, those just seem like little itty bitty corrections, nothing to freak out about. Well, that's what I want you guys to focus on right now as well. When you look at these charts and you see these candles, it's really not a big deal that we are correcting. It really, in the grand scheme of things, is still an extremely, extremely bullish market. But before I show some levels that you should be looking to buy, let's continue to talk about why there was a crash today. And there's a couple things we could point to, but I do believe the biggest thing that affected price today was this right here, the JOLTS job openings. Okay, and I'm explaining to you why this caused the crash and why it's not a very big deal. But the JOLTS job openings, of course, are reporting how many jobs there are that people can apply for. So there's businesses out there right now that are looking to hire people. The number came in, going back to my screen here, above 8 million jobs are opened after the previous report last month, 7.8 million. But the expectation that everyone thought was that these job numbers were going to drop. Right? We thought they were going to go from 7.8 to 7.7, and it turns out they came out a lot higher. You can go off my screen now, T-shirt, or T-shirts may go off my screen. Let's talk about this. Is this bullish? Is this bearish? Well, the truth is, if there are businesses in the United States that are wanting to hire people, that's actually a very positive sign. Why? Because one of the worries that would affect the economy and make the economy go into recession would be a rise in unemployment. But with openings being available, that is going to help curb and stop a rapid growth in unemployment. That, of course, causes a very good economy. A very good economy brings in liquidity. Liquidity flows into risky markets so people can make a lot of money. What is one of the greatest risky markets to be investing in at this time? It is Bitcoin. It is crypto. All of these are positive signs. So now you're saying, Tim, if it's so bullish, why did price drop? And that's where we come into the fun word called manipulation. And we have to talk about the man in the room, the composite man. It's a theory that you always have to be aware that there's like this one entity, this one figure who is trading against you, manipulating you left and right and up and down and trying to shake you out of all of your lunch money, or in this case, your portfolio. They always like to take situations that you would perceive as bullish to cause panic and to sell the markets off. And then the minute that you're panicked and you think that everything's going to get a lot worse, and you start to capitulate or sell off, they turn the markets around and they head back to the upside. This is a tale as old as time. Who is the composite man? It is the whales. It is the institutions. It is a lot of different people who have a lot of wealth, who understand the game of making money. If there's a small amount of supply in something like Bitcoin, and there's only so much of it that people can get, the best thing to do is to take advantage of the average retail investor, the people like you and me, to cause them to freak out and panic and sell their crypto to us. We buy the dip, and then the price goes up. Part of the way they got this to happen, you might wonder, is via liquidations. If we were to come down and look at smaller time frames here, going back to my screen, we're going to pull up the Bros liquidity indicator, or the liquidations indicator, and take a look here. Take a look at what has gone on here today. In fact, it actually got rid of a little bit of it, so I wish I could show you even more. Maybe it shows a little more in the 15-minute chart. Give me just a second. We removed millions, if not billions of dollars just on Bitcoin, but across the crypto space as a whole as well this morning. The markets had a massive rally yesterday. Again, they took out liquidity yesterday to the upside. But with so many people feeling so bullish, and for good reason, because there's a lot of reasons to be bullish about Bitcoin going forward, there was a ripe opportunity to get rid of, to use what should have been a bullish story in JOLTS job openings to crash the price and liquidate millions of dollars worth of positions, causing a mass panic. And to be honest with you guys, there's a good chance we have to go here a little bit lower. We're going to express and talk about some of the levels beneath us that are still looking very interesting. But the overall thing here is you have to understand, whenever you're investigating a crime, you have to look for motive, you have to look for opportunity, and you have to look for the evidence. And ultimately, we understand the motive. The motive is they want to make money and they don't want you to make money. They want to make all the wealth. They don't want you to make all the wealth. They've been doing this for a long time. The opportunity presented itself when, after a massive rally yesterday that caused a lot of retail investors to be extremely bullish and enter a lot of longs, they now all of a sudden had a story that they could put out there to make you feel that the bullishness was continuing, only to bring things to the downside. I see someone in the chat, cutest girls, what a name there. So this guy's got all kinds of conspiracy theories. Good. Call them conspiracy theories if you want to. Have you invested in the markets for a while? Have you traded and watched how price moves? Anyone who has been here for quite some time is aware of what I am saying. They've witnessed it firsthand when we've pumped after good news, we've fallen after bad news. Let me show you an example of what I'm talking about being a very bullish story that caused a major correction and people to freak out. What is one of the biggest bullish catalysts of this bull market so far? The Bitcoin ETF, right? That was a big deal. It's setting historical records for how fast it's growing. But let's talk about the situation surrounding the Bitcoin ETF. Of course, we began a massive rally back in October of 2023, right in here, when we heard news that a Bitcoin ETF was more than likely going to be approved by the SEC in the next couple of months. We trickle into January. We start to slow down a little bit. But then here, let's come in here, January 10th, right here. Let's zoom in. Let's get nice and cozy here. January 10th, right in here, we get an approval for the Bitcoin ETF. It goes live. It opens live trading on the 11th. Well, after just a couple of months before being around $26,000, we rallied on Bitcoin in anticipation of this great news, 86% in only a couple of weeks / 2 months. But the day that the actual event launched, the day that you actually could trade and invest on it, something that was going to bring massive wealth into Bitcoin space, you sell off. And in fact, Bitcoin over the next 2 weeks would correct 21%. But wait a minute, that's good news. New adoption, institutions that can come in and buy Bitcoin, which would only add demand to the price. Shouldn't the price just go to the upside? Well, if you had held on and stayed tuned, yes, absolutely, it's very bullish. But in the short term, good news was used as manipulation by the composite man to drop the price of Bitcoin by 21% and freak out all of the Bitcoin investors. I cannot tell you how many people on YouTube and X were screaming from the mountaintops, this is it, guys, we're down 20%. Bitcoin bull market over. This is all a scam. The ETF was a sell the news event. Do not buy this market, only to then watch Bitcoin explode from that 21% down when we got back to 38,000. It would go on and go another 90% in the next couple of weeks to brand new all-time highs. Okay? What's my point here? What am I talking about? Bitcoin ETF, good news. Adds liquidity. Should long-term make price of Bitcoin go up, but immediately it was utilized as manipulation to FUD the markets and bring prices to the downside. What's my story here? We're a little overextended. We're back up over 100,000. We have a massive rally yesterday. We get some great news this morning that's going to boost our economy. Great excuse to take advantage of the retail investor and crash back prices to the downside. But now let's get into the details here. That's my explanation. I challenge you guys in chat, drop your reasons why you think we crashed today. If you think the bull market's over, let me know. I respect that opinion. I disagree with it, but let me know if that's your opinion. My opinion is this is a pullback. We had a massive bullish day yesterday, but the charts were a little oversold. And again, anyone in our VIP trading group knows we warned you about this yesterday. The lower time frames said the next couple of days could be a correction. I'm just surprised by how low we've gotten, but now it's time to take a look. And we're going to do this with a lot of coins here today. We're going to take a look at price levels that I think are very interesting that you guys should be looking to buy the dip. And this is where I'm looking to scoop up my favorite cryptocurrencies. Let's go back to my screen and we'll start with Bitcoin and then make our way through several coins. By the way, over 1,200 people in here on YouTube. Shout out to all you guys. Thank you for being here. Smash that like button if you're enjoying the show. Hit subscribe also. We're almost to 40,000 subscribers. Would love for you to be a part of the bros community. Let's look here at Bitcoin. We're falling here. Is this the end of it? Well, let's start off by just taking a look at some things that we have been tracking. Yesterday, we talked about, for the first time in quite some time, the Bitcoin 2-daily chart has flashed bullish. What am I talking about? Well, we had this lower low in our oscillator action while we set higher lows in price action. We had the bullish reversal dot. And even though it's kind of sideways right now, we finally have start to see some positive money flow. We are a couple of days away from this flashing officially, but I want to remind you guys that Bitcoin on these larger time frames has been setting some major buy signals that should not be ignored. That's the case for the 2 daily. That's the case for the daily. It's when you start going to lower time frames. Where do we start to see the bearishness happen? Well, I'm actually going reverse here. We're going to drop all the way down to the 1 hour chart where you'll see, I talked about the 30-minute chart already, but we got a sell signal here yesterday, right about 11 p.m. last night. The money flow confirmed negativity. The red reversal, the bearish momentum did say we should move to the downside. Okay. Doesn't matter where the price is. We know that the 1 hour chart printed sell, according to Luxalgo. 2 hour chart, right here, roughly around the same time, give or take. The 2 hour, red reversal, bearish momentum, negative money flow. We have a sell. 4 hour, let's just loads. Red reversal, bearish momentum, negative money flow. We're looking for what's the highest time frame right now that's telling us we have a sell signal. Technically here last night, the 6 hour, red reversal, bearish momentum, and it's correcting right now, which is a sign that I think money's flowing back in. But earlier today, this had negative money flow. However, when we moved up to the 8 hour chart, there is no sell signal on the 8 hour chart. Even though we had the red reversal and the bullish momentum, we have consistently seen positive money flow on the 8 hour chart. What this tells me is that the strongest level of support really should be looking close to the area around the 6 hour chart. Let's come back over here. And we've actually dropped slightly below it, but now we're starting to see some elements. We could drop a little lower, although, again, this sufficed the sell signals that we had from earlier or later last night. With all these sell signals coming in, we had this trajectory somewhere in the world of 96, 97,000 would be an interesting spot. But to figure out more so what's going to happen, I think one of the greatest things you can take a look at right now is the 4 hour chart take profit levels that Luxalgo is giving us. This to me seems like the most likely outcome for where price will end up going. And it's going to be somewhere here in the world of the take profit level at 94,300. We're going to find some confluence in this area between 94 and 95, where we have a massive bullish breaker block, an area with high liquidations, with high support, where this used to be a selling block. But when we broke on through it, now there's going to be a lot of buying orders who want to come into this range. I wouldn't be surprised to see a wick come down here below 95, somewhere closer to 94. But to me, again, we're talking about a price action right now that is from yesterday. It's down 8% from where you would have bought late last night or late yesterday afternoon. It's a great buy order that shows us these lower time frames. While they are telling us to sell off, they are telling us where price needs to go lower. You have to remember, you have to read time frames on different perspective. And when I see the buy signals still piling in on the daily and on the 2 daily and on the 3 daily, these time frames, daily, 2 daily, 3 daily, they tell us what's going to happen in the next 2 to 3 weeks, 2 to 3 months. They're still very, very bullish right now about what Bitcoin's future looks like. And if I were to go through every single altcoin on this list, we're going to find at least the majority of them are sitting in very similar situations, where the longer time frames predicting what the movements over the next couple of weeks look like are all saying the bulls are back in charge. But it's the shorter time frames that we're keeping an eye on that should be made aware of. And again, with that 4 hour chart giving us some of those support levels, with that kind of having some confluence here with Fibonacci extension, you're going to find those levels I just mentioned, 95 to 94. Guess what Fibonacci level is in that exact spot? It's the golden pocket, one of the strongest technical analysis levels of support when looking at pullbacks to find that support. That all is confirming. That's 3 or 4 different technical analysis support levels saying 95, 94,000. That is going to be a very significant buy signal. Once that happens, what I'm looking for to confirm it, to confirm that the bearishness is over, I want to start seeing buy signals on the 1 hour chart. We're very, very close. We see the hourly chart massively oversold right now. The RSI is down here at 18. The MACD looks like after being bearish for the entire day today, it finally wants to start correcting. We got a pink histogram coming in. I want to see a bullish MACD cross, and then I want to see the buy signal from Luxalgo. We have the reversals. We have the curvature of the oscillator. Let's get a green dot, and then let's see that money flow flip positive. I think you're looking at these support levels as the bouncing spots, but to feel good about it, let's watch the buy signal start to pile up on the 1 hour. Let's watch the 4 hour flip, so on and so forth, until we've matched back up with our daily and 2 daily charts that are all saying we're under current buy signals. All right. So that's where we're at with Bitcoin. I know it took some time, but I wanted to make sure I set the stage for the overall markets with Bitcoin, what was happening. And now that you have that information, we can now take that same information and apply it to what's happening in the altcoins. Speaking of altcoins, we've been talking about altcoin season now for quite some time. This season's different. I still believe altcoin season is here, but there are some different signs. And have we not seen different signs the entire bull market to this point? I mean, never, ever, ever have we seen Bitcoin set brand new all-time highs before the halving. Never, ever, ever have we seen altcoins like Solana and others outpace Bitcoin and Ethereum early in the bull market. There's been so many firsts, so many differences. History rarely repeats exactly, but it does have similar rhymes. And I still think when you look at the history of altcoin season and what we've seen in the past, you still see a lot of similarities, not exact similarities, but similarities still in case. I still believe altcoins are exploding and have a bright futures. And today with the blood in the streets, you're going to have an amazing opportunity to buy some dips. But really quickly, I want to bring up Smay. I'm going to get a drink of water. Smay, are you buying any crypto right now? What if you were to buy one, what would you buy right now on this dip?
Well, Tim, I will say I did actually, in fact, during this stream, buy the dip on some XRP. So, gotta love a little bit of that XRP. Also, you know me, my portfolio is various cacophony of meme coins and so on. But I also like very consistently DCA into Bitcoin. So basically, it's like I think the way I look at this is like I'm just kind of jumping in on all those little dips of the coins that I usually buy anyways. So just getting maybe just bumping up the number of what my typical DCA would look like.
You know, speaking of XRP, I think that's a good transition. By the way, we didn't plan that. I didn't know he was going to say he bought XRP. We plan a lot of details about the show, but not every detail. I love that because there is a good reason to be buying XRP today from a fundamental standpoint. Once we get through that, we'll go back and look at some charts here. But before we go to my screen, I want to set the stage for the importance of the story I'm about to talk about here. And in fact, I'm going to make a video about this tonight and put this out tomorrow morning or over the next couple of days. And the reason why is because the story that just showed up today on the internet is possibly the greatest, most bullish story I have seen in this bull market. It has to do with two massive coins that I think have extremely bright futures in the blockchain world that will be the bridges between the Web3 space and the Web2 space. Unfortunately, up until today, one of the biggest negatives, because there weren't a lot of negatives about these coins, was that I said these two coins are competing with each other. These two companies are competing and could diminish the bullishness that either one of them had. Some of you in chat are already listing it out. You guys know the news, but for the rest of you, you might be on the edge of your seat saying, what the heck is Tim talking about? I'm talking about this headline right here. Go ahead and share my screen. Now, there's a lot of sources for this. We just found the first tweet I found from Cointelegraph. New Ripple, which, by the way, is the company that owns and runs XRP. Ripple teams up with Chainlink to improve RLUSD stablecoin, that's the Ripple Labs USD stablecoin, using real-time price data for secure DeFi transactions on Ethereum and XRP Ledger. Is it technically XRP partnering with Chainlink? Not necessarily. It is in a roundabout way, but it's the company Ripple. And the reason this is so big is because when we talk about transaction of money, okay, we do that a lot. That's been one of the biggest conversations about crypto in general, because crypto is cryptocurrency. How do we use cryptocurrency for everyday transactions? Well, the two coins that I think will have the largest impact moving forward on this are XRP. You know, it used to be accused as being a banker's coin, works very heavily with banks to create faster transactions, cheaper transactions, allows banks to stay competitive. And then you have Chainlink over here, one of the fastest oracle, the thing that's partnering with Swift and governments and it seems like every other crypto out there for interoperability purposes. These are the two strongest candidates to be the future of finance in the crypto space. And I was worried that they would compete with each other and there might be a day where we have to choose one over the other. And I like both of them. But with today's news, two of these powerhouse cryptocurrencies joining forces and working together. Oh my goodness. I just became even more bullish on XRP and Chainlink. Whereas I thought they would hurt each other, they now are working on the same team. You love to see it. Let's take a look at XRP and Chainlink. In the video that I'm going to make and put out either tomorrow or the next day, I'll give you refreshed and updated thoughts about price predictions for both these coins. Let's just start with where should we be buying XRP and Chainlink here today? From a macro perspective, again, I'm not going to bore you or waste your time. Long-term time frames are all still very bullish. It's only the shorter term that have cooled off, but I want to bring your attention to some massive movements that could happen on XRP. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. This formation that XRP is currently in is called a symmetrical triangle. Very bullish formation, and modestly, if we were to see this play out, it would suggest that we could see XRP, once we've broken this descending level of resistance, let's just pretend we break it somewhere over here, we could see XRP make its move up above $3, up above $3.50, giving us a brand new all-time high. But it gets better than that, because this symmetrical triangle pattern is attached to a very steep bullish price action. What is this bullish price action? We call this a flagpole, and since this is a triangle, we call it a bull pennant. This bull pennant could go a little more bullish. If we start conservatively back here in November, this could send us all the way north of $4 up to $4.65. Well, what if we were to go back and be still conservative, but a little more aggressive? One could make the argument, no, this actually started after a symmetrical triangle pattern here earlier in November. And in fact, the price prediction should be a little higher than that, up here above $5.50. And then there's the camp, the super bulls. And I believe it's not going to happen in like a week or two. It's not going to happen in a handful of months. I think $4 to $5 in the next couple of months, very doable. But what is another long-term projection here for XRP that people should keep their eyes on? Well, this flagpole very well could have started. An argument could be made this flagpole started back in early November, when the price was at 49 cents. A breakout opportunity would send, I've said this on the channel before, but this would send the price over 11, pushing towards $12 per coin for XRP. Don't expect that to happen in March or anything. This is a potential top at the end of 2025 for XRP. I'm massively bullish on this coin, but I wanted you guys to be aware of that chart just so you can get perspective on why you should be looking to buy XRP. Let's look at the levels I'm watching right now. Again, within this symmetrical triangle pattern, we've just rejected on resistance once again, so you have to keep your eyes to the downside. Now, coincidentally about XRP, this is one of the few coins that I was doing TA on today that I found has not lost the 4-hour support level, the smart trail right here from Luxalgo. That's actually extremely bullish. So technically speaking, you want to scoop up a little bit of XRP right in here around 227 on this smart trail. But realistically, remember we talked about this before, you're going to want to keep your eyes on some other levels down below us. There's a bullish breaker block and a take profit level down here between 213 and 218 that I think makes a lot of sense. And the lowest I would say to go down here would be down towards our support level at 203. So what are we really kind of looking to do here? We're probably looking to scoop up a little bit of XRP right in here, just because you don't want to miss out on this amazing run. Probably a little bit more right in here on 218 due to, again, our bullish breaker block and our take profit levels. And then, of course, worst case scenario within this bullish trend, you're still looking down here at 203. If the volume picks up and we lose this support level, let's turn it green. It should be green for support. If we do see a high volume break below this green level, that is a failed breakout. That is a movement to the downside, in which case, now all of a sudden, we're coming to larger time frames. In fact, I would maybe be tempted to even come down here towards the 2 or 3 daily chart and say, yeah, there we go. Let's go 2 daily for this one. If we do lose this, all of a sudden, 170 comes back in the equation. But again, I do not see that being a high likelihood. People hate when I say could go up, could go down. I want you guys to be aware of major support levels. But myself, I'm looking at this chart right now. I'm looking at these lower time frames. I'm looking at the longer time frames. I'm saying we might be in a minor category of bearishness, but we're majorly still bullish. Anything between this 228 and 203, in my opinion, is an amazing buy signal, a buying level for XRP moving forward. And again, we're talking about price action more than likely in light especially of this recent news and this partnership with Chainlink going north of $10. I think there's even a chance it pushes closer to 16. And in an extremely bullish scenario, bull market extends into 2026, $20. I think $20 is realistic for XRP in an extended bull market situation. What about Chainlink, though? The counterpoint to this great story here. Recently, Chainlink has broken a descending level of resistance. Let's turn this. I don't know why it's yellow. We'll update this as we go. Red line, resistance. We broke it here a couple of days ago, January 2nd. We retested it as support. We are pulling back to the downside. Could we rematch and come back down close to this 1970? I think so. But for the most part, the markets as a whole have shown us massive signs that the bearishness is over. We were scared there for a quick second that maybe we're going to have a head and shoulders pattern play out, in which case Chainlink would drop a lot lower to the downside. But with now this second right shoulder forming, we have debunked this pattern right here, and we are looking to the upside. Once again, just like almost everything else, if you go look at the 2 daily, at the 3 daily, at the daily, all these are buy signals. It's only the shorter time frames that are saying, hey, we could correct here a little bit before the bullishness continues. And what I'm seeing right now, we're going to use the same stuff we were looking at before here with Luxago, a major bullish breaker block and take profit levels between $20 and $21. That's going to be the zone that I'm keeping an eye on, that I'm looking to purchase more Chainlink. This is another coin, though, and I'll put a box right in here. And I'll put my, just so you guys can remember this, around 20. Let's go a little higher. 20 is where our take profit was. Let's put this up. And then up here around $21. We'll go a little higher. Move that box higher. That's going to be an amazing buying zone for Chainlink. This is one that I'm not going to show you the technical charts for it. There's definitely technical. We did some actually the other day. Technical reasons for over $100 in not so distant future. But this is one I believe still low end $200, high end $400. Partnering with partnering with XRP and joining the potential opposition makes me more confident about that higher push closer towards $400 by the end of 2025. You got a lot of profit to make between now and then. And some of you might be saying, Tim, why would Chainlink on a partnership just go so much higher than XRP? For that, to understand that, you got to remember the price action is the market cap divided by the supply. And currently, XRP is operating with a market cap of $138 billion. Okay. Chainlink, on the other hand, is only working with 13.9. Let's call it 14 billion just to round up. What that means is, let's pretend, although this is not going to happen, I think XRP's market cap is going to go up faster than Chainlink's, but $100 billion added to XRP, that's bullish. It's good. You love it. It would almost double price, but with a current price action of a current market cap of 138 billion, 138 billion, that wouldn't even double the price of XRP from 242 to 480, right? It would put it somewhere north of $3. $100 billion flowing into Chainlink, on the other hand, would cause the price to go up, what is that, 7x, 8x? So my overall point is, as these work together and money flows into both of them, because the market cap of Chainlink at this time is so much lower than XRP, I'm not saying that we won't have more money flowing to XRP. I'm saying it means a whole lot more to the price of Chainlink. So your returns on investment are more than likely way greater on Chainlink than XRP. But overwhelmingly, you do want to be invested in both of them. And that's this news we're seeing happen today is a major reason for that. Let's take a break here. 1,600 people in chat. Welcome, 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 everybody. If you guys love XRP and Chainlink, if you love this news, smash that like button. Smay, did I hear a jingle? Did somebody join the show?
Yes. Ta-da!
Oh, it's the mechanic.
I brought a gift.
What's up, bros?
Is the car okay? Everybody okay?
Everybody is okay. That's
Everybody.
right. We will find out by noon tomorrow, says the local auto mechanic shop, if the car, what's wrong with it and how we can fix it. We don't know. We don't know what's wrong with it, but the report from my wife was that it stopped accelerating, and so she took, she got off the side of the road, and that was the right thing. And then she called me, and I went into problem solving mode. I pulled up the charts, I zoomed out, I found the MACD, and I called the auto shop. So we figured it out. But
good to hear. Good to hear.
It was an exciting afternoon.
Yeah. Well, you're joining the show a little late. Obviously, you were in planning with us, so you know a little bit. I asked Smay earlier if he was buying anything on this dip. He actually had an interesting answer. I'm going to ask you. I don't know if you were watching. Do you know what Smay said he was buying today?
While I was not on the show, I was listening.
Cheater.
So he bought XRP,
He did.
and in his words, a cacophony of meme coins. I believe it
cacophony.
was. So
what about you? What did you buy? You buy anything on the dip today, or you just buying mechanics?
what about you is the correct question, because MSTU is what I bought. If you go to my screen, you can see here, this is what I bought. This is MicroStrategies on the 1 hour. I can get off the 1 hour so that you guys can kind of see a little bit better of what's going on here. But yeah, so ultimately, this is a double X leverage of MicroStrategies. So that's what I bought. It's a way to kind of go down the risk curve without getting outside of the Bitcoin price movement ecosystem specifically. My bias is that Bitcoin is going to continue to outperform, even as the dominance goes down. So I want to continue to kind of stack my sats, so to speak, even if it's a synthetic exposure like this double leverage ETF. But that's what I bought, and I only bought probably like 25% of what I want to deploy, because I do expect Bitcoin to remain in this wedge that I have, or not wedge, but this. I expected it. Yeah, I expected to come back.
That's a channel. Okay.
Yeah, down below this channel, this was white before I changed it during a Q&A. But yeah, I was actually surprised, because I've been telling the bros, this is my thesis. We talked about this in deep takes as well, is this white line here is January 20th, the inauguration of what could be the greatest president, Donald Trump. We'll see, but we're not there yet. So I was actually surprised, Tim. I was surprised to see us get up above this uptrending line of resistance. I thought we would just kind of stay consolidated into the inauguration, and then who knows what would happen then. But now we have this downtrending line of resistance, as well as kind of a little bit of a parameter of what to expect. And I do think we just see price probably come back down and check these lows. I heard you saying 94, I think was a level you threw out there. I could
94, 95.
I could potentially see 93 being the low. If we just kept moving down today and did another 3%, I could even see 93 200. And then if we got down here, what pushed us below this uptrending line of support was the tether FUD, right? So if there was some more FUD, right now there's not really any FUD, to be honest with you. There's the news does not seem to be the countervailing wind pushing price down, in my opinion. I think it's just a technical play out, and we were supposed to be consolidating. Manipulators bought it up, got it overbought, and then they dumped it, and now this is where we are. Now what's interesting is those same manipulators probably have quite a sizable long position on Bitcoin, but what they'll do is they'll accumulate in this channel, they'll accumulate the lows of this channel, and then when price starts to come back up, and then we got the Trudeau news, that's an excellent time. If I'm a manipulative hedge fund, that is like triple green lights for me to manipulate the price higher, have me break out of this very technical resistance level, and then as soon as there's any kind of whispers of negativity, or even just bearish candles on a low time frame, then I'm just dumping it. I'm dumping everything that I accumulated here, and I'm just out, and that's going to and then I take short positions, right? So I heard some people saying that it was conspiracies. It is so far from a conspiracy. This is what people get paid to do when they graduate from finance departments of elite colleges. They didn't go study all that so that they can go set the prices of goods and services. They did that so they can go make money. And the way you make money today is by manipulating markets. And look, the good thing about markets in trading things like Nvidia, Apple, oil, whatever it is, over a year of time, you can't manipulate those prices unless you're a huge entity like the U.S. government or something like this. You can't manipulate those prices.
Yeah.
In an hour or 3 days candlestick, you can manipulate that all day if you have enough money and you have the will, you have the know-how. And there are probably tens of thousands of trading desks that have that capability. They have the funding, they have the know-how. All they're looking for is that opportunity. And Bitcoin and crypto gives them that opportunity more than any other asset class, other than maybe Forex.
Yeah, 100% agree. And by the way, reading chat here, a lot of people have different opinions, and I love it. I saw someone in chat say they think that price going below 90K. Guess what? That was the boat I was in about a week and some change ago, right? Before we saw a lot of reversal patterns come in. We saw longer time frames like the daily, the 2 daily, the 3 daily all flip bullish. They hit their support levels and then they flipped to being bullish. It killed that bearishness. I'm not saying it's impossible. Again, I was just in boat sub 90K a week ago. But when new information comes in, you have to update what you're thinking. And right now, I'm not saying it's impossible for 93, like T-Shroom says. I like that level as well. There's support down there. I think 94 to 95 is nothing sure, but that's pretty sure. Like that's a very good, strong level of support to start massive buying coming back in. But I also want to make sure I clarify for things, if you're experienced here in chat and you have your own opinion, that's awesome, right? T-Shroom and I are not here. Smeg's not here. We're not here to give you the exact price that you should be doing everything at all times. You should always be doing your own research, striving to the best of your ability to come up with your own opinions. That's my overall thought. So when you disagree with me, that's awesome because you put some thought into it. But for anyone who's new, who does simply come on and watch YouTube videos or watches influencers and says, you know what, I'm going to buy when they buy and I'm going to sell when they sell. I encourage you to continue to do your own research, but I also want to encourage you about something else in terms of how the markets work and how I operate with my portfolio. I have a long-term hold, my long-term investment portfolio. I'm buying spot Bitcoin, spot XRP, spot Chainlink, spot other coins, right? I'm not throwing leverage on there. The coin would have to go to zero for me to officially lose my position. I buy spot on days like today. I buy spot when price is down dramatically, and there's not really a very good excuse as to why, which is a sign and a piece of evidence towards manipulation. And I start to buy when I see strong support levels, right? That is not how I trade, right? We are also a trading channel. A lot of technical indicators help traders pick the perfect spots to enter, the spots to take profit. Like I told you guys yesterday, there were signs on the charts of weakness that I shorted Bitcoin in a scalp trade yesterday, and some people in our community did as well. I'm not going to long with leverage 2x, 3x, 4x, 100x, whatever X you use, until I see confirmation of bullishness. What does that mean? I don't want to just see it hit support. I want to see the price start moving back to the upside and buy signals come back in. That's what we teach in the Bros Academy. That's what we teach in our private indicators, is how to understand when to buy spot and when to leverage trade, because there's ways to make money doing both of them. But I want to make sure I'm clear here. Hopefully no one is going in here at 94,000, 95,000, 93,000 and saying, I'm going to enter a 10x leverage long position when Bitcoin hits this price. That's not the right way to do it. Go buy spot crypto on dips. If you see a strong support level and a strong move to the downside, buy that level. But if you want to trade, if you want to use leverage, if you want to make a lot of money in that system, you always wait for confirmation of the bullishness to come back in. So I want to make sure for anyone out there who's listening to this, Tim did not say go throw a 4x, 5x, 10x trade on Bitcoin at $94,000. No, he said spot buy at 94 because it's a very strong level of support. And it could go lower, but at least if you buy at 94,000, that's where Tim's buying. So you're going to be in the same boat as me. So hopefully you guys, that information helps some of you out there on your investing journey. Investing Bros, says Ricardo Towers. Yeah, I did. I approached that and sold all of Bitcoin, but now it's time to walk away. Okay. Ricardo, you're going to be missed. You're going to miss out a lot of gains, but hopefully you took profit and you were in profit. DJ N.O. Cone, Snow Cone, DJ Snow Cone. There we go. Question for Tim, and he raised his hand too. That's very helpful. Help me understand why we need real world asset coins. I can't see why a diamond needs to be tokenized. Thanks. Because the future of transactions and the future of investing is Web3. The people in New York City, people on Wall Street, people in traditional investments are shaking in their boots if they're not willing to flip into crypto. The future of how we invest in things is through tokenization. It's just a brilliant technology that blockchain technology has developed and created. Let me make it simpler, though. I'm not even going to try to actually explain the bullishness of it. You want to know the only reason why you should be buying real-world assets is because people that have a lot of money and are very smart with their investments are buying real-world assets. And we say this all the time as we talk about these days like today that have heavy manipulation. I would be surprised, maybe I'm wrong, if you're in chat, and I know a lot of you are going to lie, if you're in chat and you have $1 billion invested in crypto, put a 1 in chat. Let's see how many billionaires we have listening. My best guess is that most of us Maybe a couple of us have a couple $1 million, but most of us are under $1 million. We would not be considered smart money. We would be considered dumb money, the average retail investor. Michael Richter is a billionaire. That's awesome. All right. So the advice I would give you, and the thing you need to understand is you do not have impact on the price of any asset. You cannot control where things go. When you buy, it has very little impact on the future price action. When you sell, it has very little impact on the price action. When the whales, the smart money, the people that are billionaires and own a massive portion of this, when they buy or sell, it has massive implications. That's why they can manipulate price. That's why they can look at these targets and say, hey, retail, dumb money, they are bullish right now. Let's take advantage of their bullishness. Let's sell ours just enough to liquidate all of them. And then when they start freaking out, we'll buy the dip and they'll lose out on all their gains, right? That's how these things work. So a better way to put it, they're whales, you're a minnow. Now, you have two choices. Number one, you can cry and complain and fuss about why it's not fair that they control price and nothing. You can do all of that. Doesn't help you, but you can do it. Or you can adapt and you can become a sucker fish. A sucker fish, if you guys are not familiar with whales, most times whales have these fish that are right underneath them, just kind of going wherever they go. That's what I've chosen to be. I don't have $1 billion. I don't have enough money to affect the markets, but I understand the tactics of the whales. I understand what makes them tick. I swim right alongside of them. I attach myself to move the way they move. That's how I'm going to make a lot of money. I might never have $1 billion, but I'm going to have a couple million. Even though a couple years ago, I was in a position where I had no thought of retirement. I was just sitting here saying, how do I keep this roof over my head? How do I eat dinner tonight? How do I not look like a complete idiot in the eyes of my parents? That was my financial plan, right? I had no financial plan. Got invested, learned a lot more about how money works, got the ball rolling, and now all of a sudden I'm thinking about retirement. I'm thinking about my kids' future. I'm thinking about my grandkids. This is because I've decided to watch how whales move and I attach myself to them just like a sucker fish, and I trade the way they trade. That's the strategy I recommend for you. And so to do that, you need to understand things aren't always going to be fair. Things won't always make sense to a simplistic level. You have to understand and think like the composite man. You have to think, if I could, how would I do it and what would it look like? And when you put yourself with that mindset, you find yourself buying a lot of dips and selling a lot of tops. By no means do I claim to be a perfect investor. I have made calls before that are not right. I've bought when I should have sold, and I've sold when I should have bought. But I want to make sure anyone who's listening to this, I put this on X earlier today, and anyone who's been in the bros community now for a while can back this up. Anyone who's sitting here saying, Tim, why are you so bullish? You're just a moon boy. You're just a bullish, biased person. That is very far from the truth. Again, I got a lot of backlash when we broke new all-time highs early. When we went up above $69,000, I told everybody, hey guys, we're overextended. We need to cool off. Probably something in the world of 20 to 30%. People said I was an idiot. Tim, we're rallying right now. Why do you have to kill the moon? Why are you such a bear? I just understood the way whales thought. Sure enough, even though we went a little higher than I thought we would top out around 70,000. We went to 74, missed it by $4,000. Sold a little early. We would correct. How much? Go to my chart here, Smay. Bitcoin would correct over the next couple of months 33%. Even if you don't count this wick, we still corrected 29% from that high. Why did I know it was going to happen? Why did I predict it end up being correct? Because that's the thing that whales do. The way they move, the way they think about things. I also told you guys, and again, did I pinpoint this perfectly? No, but I told you guys, hey guys, around or just above $100,000 is going to be some sort of sell-off. I'm thinking 15 to 20%. People said I was crazy. Tim, we're shooting straight up to 120, 130, 140. And guess what? We went a lot higher. I thought that the top was in at 104 or 103. We went to 108. But how far back did we pull? At least at this point. You know, some people are going to say we go lower. 15.4%. I said 15 to 20%. My overall point here is, if you've been following the bros community, if you've been following our channel, I am bullish when I think I should be bullish and when I think the whales are bullish. And I am bearish when I think I should be bearish and the whales are bearish. And the overarching longer term swings, we've been hitting pretty well. Not perfect, but pretty well. And all of that is because my philosophy, I'm not going to whine. I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to trade emotionally. I am going to take my dumb money and start putting myself in the shoes of the smart money, of the whales, of the billionaires. How would they treat these markets? And I'm going to invest based off the charts and based off the logic of how they would think. And so far, the bull market's going pretty well. And anyone who's been following us has made a lot of money. But stick with us. If you don't believe me, stick with us. Watch this channel for the next year and some change. And hopefully you become a big, big fan. You subscribe and you join us in making a lot of money in this bull market. Bituendo says, Tim is correct on his analysis, but still crazy. That's true. I am crazy. You're right there. Didn't claim not to be crazy. But every genius needs a little crazy, right? T-Shroom, it is 3:55. We covered a lot of ground here today. Although we didn't get to look at a whole heck of a lot of coins. I'm going to be going live here in 10, 15 minutes with our VIP trading group for Q&A. We'll take a look at a lot of coins. Again, we did some live trading earlier. We looked at some handful of coins where to buy. I'm going to continue that. Our members definitely get access to me, to T-Shroom, to several other traders. By the way, it's not just me and T-Shroom trading and looking at buy signals and sell signals. We have a whole community in our VIP trading group of a bunch of great traders who are helping people make money every single day, whether you're just long-term investing and looking for the right coins to buy, or whether you want to trade, you want to learn how to use leverage and protect your wealth and use proper risk management. All of this can be done in the Bros community. So go check out the links down below in the description. Join today. You're not going to find a better community with a better price out there that will teach you everything you need to know about trading and investing to make money. With that said, it sounds like the end of the show. We have to go to our Factoid of the day. And Shroom, you're here for it. So I'm very glad you are because I need your help thinking about it. I'm going to bring back Smay. Right. 1,700 people, smash like right now. We have how many likes right now? I didn't even check. 1,700 and only 546 likes. That's pretty good, but we could have 800, get to halfway. 900 technically, I guess, is in the area. But smash that like button. We're going to stay there, Shroom.
Well, I was going to say, before we get into the factoid, folks may have been hearing about the opportunity to join and investing in a trading community, but they may not know where to click to make that happen. All you have to do is go to the video you're watching now, whether you're on mobile or desktop. So go to that video, and Smay, go to my screen for this as I demonstrate, and you just scroll down, right? Make sure you smash the like button on the way. But this is the link that you're going to be looking for. This will give you access to our membership tiers where you can ask Tim and I questions at the drop of a dime, as well as our community and Crux and Smay and others. Now, this one here is a link where if you just want to check it out, you just want to come into the Discord, but you're not ready to make that commitment yet, then this is free. Just come in here, check it out, get a Discord account if you don't already have one, and you'll be off to the races for free. So these are going to be your links for that, and they're I got to tell you, there's more and more people joining, and more people are telling me that they're loving it, right? And we gave a bunch of money away over the weekend because there was a lot of winners for people that are just we do giveaways for our members, and whenever we give money away, people oftentimes become into a very generous mood where they share their testimonies, and they tell me that look, that this type of a community really changed the way they look at investing. They looking at it in a way that was really wrong, and they were losing money. And all it took was just conversations every now and then where they had their specific questions answered by people who've been trading and investing for a long time. So go check those links out. And if you're not ready, just check out the free Discord as well. So let's get into that factoid, though, Tim, without further ado, right?
All right, Smay, what you got for us today? I see a camera.
Everybody, welcome to the factoid of the day, brought to you by Decrypted.tax. We love Decrypted.tax, and we love factoids. So without further ado, I will go ahead and read the factoid to you. In a surprising twist, the iconic photography brand Kodak announced a cryptocurrency initiative called Kodak Coin. What was it primarily intended for? A. Funding a space telescope for astrophotography. B. Rewarding employees for sustainable practices. C. Managing digital rights and image licensing. Or D. Donating proceeds to endangered wildlife photography funds.
Okay. I have my first instinct, T-Shroom. Give me your first instinct, and I'll explain mine. What are you leaning towards right here?
I mean, if I was consulting Kodak Coin, first of all, I would tell them don't do this. But the second thing I would say is C, because this looks like something where there's actually some money. I smell some money in C.
Okay.
The rest of them look like nice things to do. Yeah. So C, I mean D, maybe you do D as like a PR type of thing. But
Yeah.
what do you think, Tim?
So I think D. And my reason why is because, first of all, it's one of the biggest things that keeps Kodak in business is their advertisements when they're taking pictures of wildlife, right? That's why most people love Kodak cameras. They think they can go take their own photos there. Also, anyone who knows Smay knows that Smay is quite the sucker for wildlife and preserving it. He talks
He's
about
a
it quite
sucker
frequently.
for it.
And I have a feeling the elf knew that that's where Smay's heart was and thought, you know what, this one's for Smay. And we're gonna come up with a coin that would produce a reason for him to talk about securing and protecting wildlife on the Investing Bros live show. So I'm leaning D. I think the others are too. I think A and B are a little. I don't think that's doable. C, I agree with you. C makes sense from a logistics standpoint, but I don't think that Smay and the Elf give us factoids based off logistics.
D. Let's lock it in. Delta.
We're locking in D.
All right. Without further ado. And it was C. This was a classic example of the blind leading the blind, ladies and gentlemen. Guys, just so you know.
I still like my answer. Do you not think that's a good answer?
I mean, sure. I love wildlife conservation and all that. It's great. I even dabbled a little bit in making an NFT project where I took pictures of animals back in the day. But the problem is, this was the elf that made this question. I don't know if the elf loves, you know what I mean. Okay, so anyways, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations. You did not get it correct, but back to you.
So the audience, a lot of people in the audience said C, and T-Shroom said C. So you know what? I'll take the loss by myself on the chin. Even though it counts as a loss because I talked him out of it. So that is your bad for just going with my flow, Shroom. You should have fought me. Should have punched me. No, you got an honorable mention for being right and me leading you astray. Good stuff. Very good stuff. Well, guys, that's gonna wrap out today's show. It's 4:01. Thank you so much for choosing the Bros today. I encourage you on your way out. Again, as the title says, don't panic right now. These are the types of moves that if you've been around the block in the world of investing, there's days like today that prices do weird things for what seems like no reason. And you learn to understand that this really just a big form of manipulation. I encourage you, buy the dip, continue to hodl on. Even if it goes a little lower than what you said on this show, the bull market is far, far, far from being over. Don't give up yet. We love you guys. We'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same place. Members, I'll see you over in the Discord. Adios.